is Larz Metzger, the Pro Heavy Champion. And you are listening to Drinkin. All right, everybody. Welcome to Drinkin' Mo's. Watching the video version of this, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications because I got plenty of good things coming. Yep, that's about it. Podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify. Leave a rating. I need one right now. All right. So I got with me tonight Larz Metzger. I think we'll go ahead and just get this out of the way since there was a little bit of a controversy, I guess, when I posted about this episode that something about you calling the self-proclaimed rugged pro champ. I'm like, I wasn't there. I wanted to be, but I wasn't.
No, you need to understand that I am the self-proclaimed, undisputed, rugged pro heavyweight champion. Tell him, Prentice.
Yes, many people get on social media every day and they make these egregious claims that they are something they are not. That they're the best father, they're the best daughter, the best this, the best that. And Jossie is claiming that he is the true rugged pro heavyweight champion of the world. There's an issue with that. See, Jossie is not the true heavyweight champion. The true heavyweight champion, you see it right there on his shoulder. It's Larz Metzger, and with me, Jason Prentice, as his, you could say I'm a mouthpiece. You could say I'm a piece of garbage. You could say whatever you want about me. I consider him a close personal friend. And a monster doesn't have too many friends to begin with, but a monster like Larz Metzger, his inner circle is very, very tight-knit. And when we saw the opportunity, like we did last week or 2 weeks ago, to do what we did, we capitalized on it. And now you see the heavyweight champion in his true form. It's not some guy like Jossie. It is a monster like Larz Metzger.
All right. I mean, they do say possession is 9/10 of the law, and I mean, he has it right there. So.
And he has the scars. You see the scars? Have you seen the scars? He bled for the belt. What did Jossie do when he beat Nikki Sent? Huh? What did he do? Larz, you and I both saw what happened. Did he get any blood? Did he look hurt at all? No. It was easy. He was a superstar under the lights doing his whole shtick that he does.
Yeah.
No. Larz bled for the belt. He earned that belt. Unlike Jossie, who just blew past a weak and fragile Nikki Sent. And I said what I said. Weak and fragile Nikki Sent.
You know, I've seen the pictures. Like I said, I wasn't able to be there at the show, but I've seen the pictures, and yeah, you can't argue. He bled for that belt, and it's in his hands now. And knowing him the way I do, he's definitely going to be a guy that you'd have to damn near kill him to get it from him.
Mo, listen. Not only are you going to have to kill me to get this title, But the reason I took this title, Mo, is because a rugged pro needs me. Rugged pro needs Larz Metzger, okay? Rugged pro needs Larz Metzger and Jason Prentice, okay? And you have to understand that. Rugged pro has to understand it, and everybody else has to understand it, okay? Because the last show was called End of an Era. And you know what I did? I ended that era. And you know why I ended that era? Because I started that era. I am a rugged pro wrestling. Larz Metzger is rugged pro wrestling. And without Larz Metzger, rugged pro wrestling would never exist.
Think about that. Think about all that. Take that in. Take that in. Take that in for a minute. He started the era. Like he said, he was there at the start. He was there for the first show. I was there for the first show. And the last rugged show, end of an era, end of it all. How fitting for me, for Larz, for both of us to leave our past in the past and move forward to a bigger and brighter future. When you look at us together, we are the definition of what Rugged Pro is all about. Now, sure, there are some scumbags. There are some people who are not worthy to be in the ring with us, who will claim, again, like so many people do on social media, that they are the reason they're the lifeblood for Rug and they're this and that. When you look at the core of all of it, when you look at the core of Rugged Pro Wrestling, two guys stand out. The mouthpiece and the monster, okay? The facilitator of all these big deals that have gone down in Rugged Pro history, and the monster who, by the way, when's the last time somebody pinned his ass on the mat? Can you recall? Can you recall that? Because nobody can. You know why?
Never.
Exactly. Never been done. Never been done. So John C, and I'm a little heated. I'm a little heated because John C wants to come out on social media this week and hype up a match against some other guy. And when he does this promo, I watch with great intent because I want to hear what Mr. Superstar has to say. He says something about how guys are playing wrestler. We don't play nothing, boy. We don't play nothing. We don't play around in the ring. We smash, we crush, we move on. We decimate, we move on. We take titles, we move on. The constant of Rugged Pro Wrestling is and will always be this right here, Larz Metzger and Jason Prentice. So a guy like John C running around playing heavyweight champion and showboating. Look. I ain't gonna give this guy too much beef because you know what? He's got great charisma. He's got great ability, great agility. I will say nothing but nice things until it has to get a little bit ugly because sometimes the truth is ugly. Okay? So when it comes to John C, while he's got the best look in the locker room, while he's got the prettiest smile, while he's got the prettiest moves in the ring, and he's slick as can be and quick as can be, he's not a monster. And that's his biggest disadvantage, aside from the fact that he is not the true heavyweight champion and he doesn't have the greatest manager on God's green earth backing him up.
Hard to argue all those points. I mean, you hard to argue with, when nobody's ever pinned him. Nobody's ever hard.
Not only that, Mo, not only that, but you've seen it also in PWP.
Yeah.
And it's the same for Rugged Pro. Nobody kicks out of the spear.
That is true. When you hit them with that, they're not getting up.
It's over.
That is true. Nobody
So-
kicks your one.
So if anybody wants to challenge me to anything, step up. But Ja, well, you got to understand, you're full of charisma. You're full of that it factor. You have everything going for you, except for the fact that you're not a monster. And what differentiates you and me, Ja, is that I have that it factor. I have that charisma. I have everything you have. But I'm the fucking monster. And I am the rugged pro. Heavyweight champion.
Hey, you ain't gonna find me arguing with you on any of that. Not
I love
one
it.
bit.
I love it. No, I love it. See, Lars, I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. Our friend here, early in the show says, I've known you for quite some time. Then you've known that guy. And there is nothing to argue because this guy who you're seeing right now in living color,
Mhm.
okay, you're seeing right directly. You're seeing it as it is. You're seeing a new version. But I don't think you comprehend. I don't think guys like Josh C. or even Austin Fouts, the promoter of rugged pro wrestling, I don't think guys like him and behind the scenes people like Chris Manning and other talents like Brandon Juarez, and other talents like Nikki Sent, and even Jason Strife from afar, I don't think anybody else is grasping what is truly happening here. This is a new Larz Metzger, and yeah, his undefeated streak will continue under this new direction he's taken. And this new Larz Metzger plans to be heavyweight champion for a long time. And yes, there is a plan, and then there's execution. And our first execution, you like how I played that up a little bit? The first execution is Zeke Dynamics, June 4th in Olwine, Iowa. Zeke Dynamics is a young up and coming star who thinks that his 5'2" frame with all the big muscles he's got, which is like 2, an IQ level of 2 as well. He thinks he's gonna step up at 5'2" to the 6'5", 6'6", if I'm doing the numbers, 6'6" monster, lean, mean, cutting machine. You're telling me a 5'2" nothing, a vanilla midget is gonna try and take Larz Metzger on and try and win? Come on, he's got a lot of heart, a lot of bravery, because nobody else had the gall to do it. Nobody had the balls to do it. It was an open contract, and this kid was the first one to stumble his way into what was an office at the time. He stumbles in. Oh gosh, what is this place? I've never had to be here before to kiss management's ass. Oh, there's a contract. Oh, I guess I'll sign it. I'll beat Larz Metzger. I'll do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, no, I'm not liking that guy's chances. Not at all.
Not liking anybody's chances. Not liking his chances. Jossie's chances. Anybody on that on the roster list in the locker room, you look who's there, and I want you to look at them. I want you to say, who's the guy who's going to beat Larz Metzger? I want you to look at the locker room right now. Look at the list. Because I'm not seeing a damn fool who's crazy enough, who's monstrous enough to do the unthinkable. Because it is the unthinkable. It's the unachievable. It's chasing the dragon, for Christ's sake. When you are trying to beat Larz Metzger, it is not like any other match you'll experience in your life. It is unlike anything you've ever experienced on God's green earth. And now June the 4th and July, June the 11th, and further beyond July, August, September, November, October, December, the 12 months of the freaking year. It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to step up. They're going to get stepped on by the monster, Larz Metzger. Capiche?
Oh,
Understood?
completely.
What you really need to understand here is that in Rugged Pro, nobody can even lace up my boots. And the reason I have this right now, because I saved Rugged Pro. I am the savior of Rugged Pro.
Yeah.
I ended the era the way it needed to be ended. And I ended it the way it needed to be began. Larz Metzger is champion. And when I looked at the situation and I saw that the title was vacated, I just decided that it was my time. But on June 11th, Jossie title for title. You have a toy on your shoulder right now. You have a replica on your shoulder right now. I have the real Rugged Pro heavyweight title on my shoulder right now, John. And what you have to understand, John, you gotta get this, okay? You gotta understand the words that I say to you right now. You will never touch this title. You will never hold this title. Because I'm keeping it, and I'm taking yours too.
That's gonna be one killer show. Gonna be one that if you're in the area, you're definitely not gonna want to miss, because seeing you face off against the I guess paper champion.
Say it the way rugged pro wrestling would want you. Say, come on, say it like the real heavyweight champion John C against yourself. Do it that way, because I'm sure that would really get them excited. You got to sell the show. Come on now, Austin Fouts would be disappointed in you if you didn't do it that way. All those people, they want to hear. Rugged Management wants to hear those words come out of your mouth. They want to hear you say those words. Real heavyweight champion versus self-proclaimed champion. It's money. It's the draw. It's everything you could dream of. And it should be called the end of Jossie, because realistically, we ended an era, and now, June 11th, we're going to end Jossie. Not just his reign as champion, but his career in Rugged Pro and hell, maybe his career in general.
Yeah, June 11th, real champ versus self-proclaimed champ.
There you go. See, look at that. See, he's learning. He's learning, Larz. Like I told you, some people got to learn how to sell that a little bit.
It takes some time.
I'm a quick learner.
Takes some time.
Yep.
No, and definitely gonna be a show you don't want to miss. I'm even gonna look into making sure I'm there, because I want to witness history when the real champ versus the self-proclaimed champ butt heads, and we finally get that one undisputed, nobody can argue a damn thing about it champ. Because I know Larz Metzger, he's got the real thing. So June 11th, there ain't going to be any more arguing about it.
No, there's not, because on Saturday, June 11th, in Marshalltown, Iowa, the last salvation, you'll find out who is the undisputed rugged pro heavyweight champion. And it won't just be self-proclaimed. It will be undisputed.
I'm looking forward to it.
Taking time out of this episode to let you know about one of our sponsors, Bonerfill. Whenever you're tired of not being able to get a rock hard cock, you're gonna want Bonerfill. Ships your home in discreet packaging because you know you don't want any of your neighbors realizing you just got a big or small floppy dick. So, Bonerfill.
All right, here, everybody. This is Big Mo from the Drinkin and Mo's podcast. And you know what? If you are wanting some kick-ass ice cream and you're in the Omaha area, you got to go down to Ted and Wallace in Benson or in the Old Market, the home of the Big Mo.
All right. So one thing I like to get started with is what got you started as a fan of wrestling, and then what got you started, in your start in the wrestling business.
So, I can remember when I was a kid. So I'm 33 years old right now. So I was born in 89. And I can remember when I was a kid, my parents taking me to the shows and Veterans Memorial Auditorium here in Des Moines, Iowa. And I remember seeing Jake the Snake Roberts versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. In a cage match. And it just captivated my attention. And Jake the Snake, just like the way he would talk to people, the way he would bring them in. And Macho Man was just pomp and circumstance. So it's the complete opposite, but it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember them bringing that blue cage out. And then I remember them having a match. And then about 3 or 4 years later, I remember seeing Ultimate Warrior and Big Van Vader.
Mm.
Yeah. The return of the Ultimate Warrior and Big Van Vader and what was now, or what was then, the WWF. And it was something else, because Vader, just a physical specimen, just up there, just doing a moonsault off the top rope. And I was a bigger kid growing up. And I dealt with a lot of that stuff growing up. And seeing someone like that, being as agile as that, was something to tell me that, something could happen here. And yeah, I mean, we all kind of grew up watching it, and we idolized the people that we grew up with. Obviously, Undertaker,
Mhm.
One of my biggest idols as well. Everything he was able to do at his size. Anybody that's bigger that can move like that. That's really kind of what got me started, and then it just kind of continued, and then I got to the point where I came out of college and graduated, and just decided I wanted to do it. And the first day of wrestling training, I tore my ACL.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was training up in Rock Island, Illinois, for man, next level elite wrestling. I don't even know if they're even running anymore, but first day, tore my ACL.
Ouch.
And yeah, I was 26 years old, and I had to decide that if this was it.
Mm.
And I went to rehab, did all that stuff, and then came back, and that's why I have the knee brace that I wear now.
Mm.
So it's just kind of one of those things where, it's another hurdle that I decided that I wanted to blast through, because Larz Metzger doesn't handle any bullshit.
Hmm? No, that's a good way to go through life in general. You get an obstacle in your way, plow the fuck right through it.
Yep.
And you know what? If anybody tries to argue with it, it's like, well, you didn't have to get the fuck in my way.
Exactly. And I think that is something that people need to understand more in life.
Mhm.
Is that we're living for you, and you are living for make yourself happy and the people around yourself happy. And if someone doesn't like that, then they probably don't deserve to be in your circle.
Good way to think about it. Because if they really cared, really wanted to be in that circle, they'd be supportive of whatever you're going with. And they might still be honest with you, but in the end, they're going to be there.
Yep, exactly. And you get to a certain point in time in your life that you understand that the people that mean the most to you are the people that you would eat a plate of spaghetti with.
Gotcha. Another thing that I like to ask is some favorite matches of yours as a fan, and then some that you've been in.
So, as a fan, let's see here. Undertaker versus Triple H, end of an era.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Just everything that they were able to tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that streak was still there. And it was the only time that I thought that it was attainable to break. until it actually was broken, which I was actually there in person for, which was crazy.
That's one thing, one of these days I would really love to do. I don't even care if I'm up in the fucking nosebleeds. Just to say that I went to a WrestleMania. I mean, hell, if I'm up close, cool. But I could be up in the nosebleeds just to say that I was there.
Yeah. I've been to a couple myself, and they're good time, to say the least. I hope to be able to wrestle in one day.
You know, I would definitely look forward to that day, seeing you out there and like, dude, I know that guy. Man, he's up there. This is awesome.
And you Mo, you've seen this since the beginning, and some of my favorite matches that I've had personally would easily have to be some of those early matches with Fight or Flight, Clay Cooper, Nathan Edwards. We really kind of hit each other at the right time, with Midwest Blood and Fight or Flight, and really just kind of wanted to put it all out there. I remember I power bombed Clay Cooper out of the ring once onto everybody, and it was one of those things people hadn't seen there for a long time, or maybe never ever. And it was a good time, because I had a good time throwing his ass across the arena, to say the least. But recent matches easily had some with Guns and Beer and PWP with Moonshine and Duke Cornell. Duke's one of those people who needs to be somewhere, needs to be signed. Like I got a handful of people that I've been around, worked with, that need to be signed. Duke is one of them. Jeremy Wyatt, one of the most greatest technical wrestlers there is out there that's never been signed. Jason Strife, the Carver. Seto Kabara is a hidden gem.
I would agree.
Like he does things that are far ahead of where he should be, and it clicks for him.
Oh, he's doing amazing things right now all over.
And then like some of my favorite wrestling matches recently have been like some of those tag matches that we had with Guns and Beer, and then of course you were there, Johnny motherfucking Ruckus. Like, I've known him for 16 years of my life, and you were there when he broke my nose. And I was bleeding everywhere. And we lost the tag titles. Two-time PWP tag team title champions, and we lost them.
And if I remember right, I was there both times that you won them.
You were because the first time we won them was, of course, as Presidents of Wrestling, which Pat Powers and Devin Carter, just phenomenal talents.
Pat Powers' first episode of this show was with him.
Yeah.
And speaking of another guy you brought up, Duke Cornell, I'm actually going to be talking with him later this week.
Exactly. And Duke is doing some of the best work that he's ever done in his life right now.
Mm. Have to agree.
Like there's one of those things where you feel like certain foods and things of that nature. There's certain things where you have to pay attention to, and Duke Cornell, the Carver, Seto, myself, Larz Metzger. It's you're gonna pay attention to this soon, because something's gonna happen, and I can say all these people that I've had the greatest matches with, which was amazing. I hope he comes back sometime soon. But at the same time, we killed each other. And then
You guys did that night.
we did. And then recently, Shane Hollister, Suge, he's doing big things. He's been doing big things for years. And that was one of my favorite things on Scott County Wrestling. And then Madhouse Wrestling, Knoxville, like August 2nd, I'm pretty sure, is our next show. And the first show, it was me and Maddie Starr. Maddie Starr is another one of those on my list that I wanted to face, because I knew that Maddie Starr is amazing at what he does.
Oh yeah, that he is. I believe my first ever PWP show was headlined by him versus Brandon Juarez in a TLC match. Man, that was amazing.
Brandon Juarez, he is another one of those who just needs to be signed, needs to be somewhere.
Totally.
He is the epitome of charisma, of just bringing the crowd in. Just no matter where he is, no matter if it's Brandon Juarez or Donnie Pepper Cricket, he knows how to do it. And he's so good at what he does.
Oh, totally. And he's been like a big brother to me. Like I might technically be older than him, but he's been there for me through so much hell. He introduced me to my damn wife.
Yes. Yes.
But on a personal level, love the guy.
Yes.
But everything you said about him on a wrestling level, true. He is one of those guys that he can draw in that crowd, whether as Brandon Juarez, especially Donnie Pepper Cricket. He, like, both ways, he can get you to, especially in PWP right now with the messengers, he can get you to just hate him. And then you get him in like a place like Magnum Wrestling, Donnie Pepper Cricket, and you just love him.
He is the epitome of mastering the art, to say the least.
I have to agree.
Yeah,
definitely. And we kind of brought up a little bit about Midwest Blood, your tag partner, Johnny Ruckus. What were things like, the early days starting that tag team? And I mean, I know a little bit about some of the stuff as far as deciding to split up. But as far as the people that are going to listen or watch this, what brought up the split up?
So I want to tell you that I know, but I don't.
Okay.
As I told you before, I'm 33 years old now. I've known Johnny Ruckus since I was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's been very apparent coming into the match. That's a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that when he picked up Cedric Cabara and put him on me for Trio Well, I thought that was the final countdown, which I know we never talked about it, but that's what we called our finisher, which was something that nobody's ever done before. Someone was hanging on me in a Trio Well. He super kicked him, picked him up for a power bomb, and that was the end of the match. So we picked Cedric Bar up. He put him on my shoulders. And then he kicked my face. I haven't talked to him. I'm gonna let him out real quick. Go outside. Come on.
All right, we're back at it. We kind of started talking a little bit about Midwest Blood and what brought up the split. I mean, I know when that all came up, I was kind of bummed because, I mean, I always loved watching the two of you together.
You know, Mo, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, when it happened, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny betrayed me. But he also did something that I needed. He brought out a side of me that I've never seen before.
Give me 1 second. But yeah, that whole feud you ended up having with your former partner, like you were saying, it did bring out a side of you that, you know, hadn't really been seen, brought out that monster.
Yeah. And it's a side that needed to be brought out of me. And as much as I hate Johnny Ruckus, I really wish that his soul would burn. But he didn't before me. He brought out something in me, Mo, that I have never known before. He brought out something in me that I was locked away for a long time. And I want anyone to understand if they come across Larz Metzger that they will die. And you can choose which death you want that to be. I promise you that if you don't pay attention, that your death will be awful.
Definitely don't want that. Well, we kind of talked a little bit about some of the shows you got coming up. Are there any other ones that you're looking forward to?
So, PWP next week, Wednesday, the 27th.
Mhm.
I have no idea who I'm facing, Mo. No idea. But do you remember what happened the last time that I was there?
I do.
What happened?
You destroyed your opponent. You destroyed him.
Yeah. I destroyed them. And something that PWP needs to understand is that anybody who steps in the ring with me is going to get that treatment.
I would expect nothing less. I mean, that's that sort of wrestling. That's right up my alley, really. I love that grit, that determination, that intense. Just love it.
And as I told you, Mo, June, we're busy. We're real busy. We got some things going on in June. The first weekend of June, we're in Owine, Iowa. Owine, Iowa has never seen Larz Metzger, Mo. Yeah. They really have no idea what they're in store for.
You know, I was actually just gonna say that. I don't think they have any idea.
No, and if you remember my amazing manager, Jason Prentice, mentioned that I was facing someone by the name of Zeke's Dynamics. What even is that? I heard he was 5 foot nothing, and weighs about as much as both of my legs combined. I just don't really know why he signed up for that open challenge. Like, I mean, what sense does that make to you, Mo?
It makes no sense to me. What were they gonna need a coroner's van on standby for that one?
I mean, they say first responders are ambulance and fire department. So maybe we just call the ambulance before it even happens.
It might be a smart move. I mean, a guy the size of your opponent versus guy your size.
Hold on. Also, Also, Mo. Also, Larz Metzger, obviously, as I've already said before, June 11th versus Jossie. Title for title. Undisputed champion. And then, hold on. And then I think the 319 area might be seeing Larz Metzger soon. That Block Hawk County area. Because you know that my heart is as black as the abyss.
Yeah, that's anybody that has you coming up. They're in for some intense stuff, that's for sure. Another
one.
thing.
No, go ahead, Mo. Go ahead.
Now, I was going to move on to another question, but you had something you're going to bring up.
I'll bring it up later. Go ahead. No. Actually,
Okay.
you have to understand the apocalypse is upon you. Go ahead, Mo.
Okay. Well, on that, I've talked a lot with a bunch of my guests on the current state of pro wrestling. You know, not independent national TV. There's all sorts of choices out there. You got IWTV streaming. You got Peacock with the WWE stuff. You got Impact Plus, New Japan World. If you're a fan, you can find something. And if you can't find something you enjoy, you're probably not a fan to begin with. What are some of your thoughts on like the current state of things with professional wrestling?
I think that given the circumstances with the streaming things that happen, if you want to find pro wrestling, you have never had a better chance to find pro wrestling than right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can access things that give you access: IWTV, ROH, any of that, WWE, obviously, with Peacock and the network and everything that they haven't done. I think that pro wrestling right now is thriving.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people are interested in seeing matchups that they've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can bring that in, then why not?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what happens. There's enough pro wrestling out there right now that people have a say in what they want to see because they can pick and choose. If you want to watch GCW, order GCW. GCW is running right now.
That they are.
Rampage is running right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of pro wrestling on every single night. But what you guys need to understand is you need to support the indie professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are people that you may have never seen before like myself, Larz Metzger, like Donnie Pepper Cricket, like Brady Juarez, like Duke Cornell, like Cynical Bar, like Jason Strife, like Jeremy Wyatt, like Maddie Starr, like Gable Ford, like Brixton Nash, like any of those guys. They got something for you.
Mhm.
And if you're in the 515 area, you know, there's Nino Garrett, there's all this other things. There's everything. There's Joseph Anderson, there's Brian Gott. There's those people that have been around, people that I want to wrestle. I got to wrestle Brian Gott a few months ago, and it was the greatest experience of my life.
Close friend of mine.
It was great. It was great.
And you bring up Rick Nash. I'm actually tomorrow, before the Magnum Wrestling event, I'm actually talking with him and his tag partner, Jameson McGregor, before their tag titles.
That's another dude. Jameson McGregor, the Shank. Who else? Max Chill. All those guys, like they got something going for them. Like they're Adam Love. I mean, like they got something. So if the time comes, it happens. But at the same time, you know, there's other guys too. Like I said, like I wrestled Shook, GT Energy, you know, all those guys. Like, just I probably forgot some names, but all those people that are there, that I've wrestled, that I've almost bled with, essentially. So yeah, but I want people to understand that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you stand with me. I am Larz Metzger, and I will bury you.
You're definitely not the guy to fuck with, that's for sure.
And I hope you don't understand, Barry doesn't mean what the smart marks think that Barry means, because I'm not burying anybody. I'm not burying their talent. I'm not burying who they are as a person. But I'm burying them. And they'll find out sooner or later, Mo.
Yeah, that they will. All right. So one more thing that I like to do with everybody, you might see something similar on like the Broken Skull sessions. I like to do a little bit of a speed round. Name off some people. You give me your thoughts.
I get.
All right. So you were a part of a tag team for a pretty good amount of time. First two pretty historical tag teams. Number one, Dudley Boys.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, they definitely trailblazers in a way with a lot of the things they brought up.
To say the least.
Yeah, to say the least, definitely. Next, one of my personal favorites, probably my all-time favorite tag team, the Road Warriors.
Domination.
Yeah. There were few people that like the reason why they coined the term Road Warrior pop. I mean, kind of explain, those guys came out that, oh, what a Russian. I got to see it live once, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. I was on my feet that entire entrance.
I remember when I was a kid and I had the WWF cassette tape that had the entrance music on it. And I remember the Road Warriors was like the first one to play. I don't remember if it was track A or side B or whatever, but I had that. It was a white cassette tape. And I probably still have it maybe in my parents' house. And I pushed play, and all of a sudden, oh, what a rush! And it would bring me to another level.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm with you there, man. All right. Next one. A guy that is synonymous with just intenseness. Nick fucking Gage.
Psycho.
Yeah. No. When those lights are on him and that music hits, he's the god of that shit.
Bo, my favorite part was when he was on AEW and they went picture in picture. And there was a Domino's ad. And he just had to disengage himself with whatever was happening. But that look, you have to understand now. Nick Gage, CW. Who? Tell me. You know. I know you know. And if you don't know, you need to know. Who is their heavyweight champion right now?
Right now, it's John Moxley.
Exactly. And what legitimacy does that give to that company? It's something different because John Moxley is part of the Blackpool. No. Sorry. Blackpool Combat Club. You have But John Moxley is a heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the baddest motherfucker on it.
I have to agree. And I mean, that Blackpool Combat Club, right now, they got the GCW heavyweight champ, and they got the Ring of Honor pure champion. They got a pretty good group there. And you were about to say.
By the way, Wheeler Yuta, what he's done, amazing talent. But at the same time, like I was going back to GCW. GCW is basically ECW. It is just a different breed. There are people there that handle things differently, and that's okay because draw something.
And well, next, I'll kind of two that John Moxley is synonymous with. These last two are going to be promotions, but Game Changer Wrestling.
Do you want me to speak my thoughts on it?
Yeah.
So, like I said, Game Changer Wrestling reminds me of ECW in its heyday. Where you have a good mix of talent that tells a story, but then you also have the blood and guts of ECW. And I think that's what a lot of people think that ECW was blood and guts.
Yeah.
There was a lot of it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We've all seen it. We've all been there. I remember being in 1999, being 8 years old and watching ECW at like 10 o'clock on TNA and thinking that I was just rebelling against everything. And seeing Rob Van Dam jump off of everything and chairs and into this and into that, you know what I mean? And seeing Sabu and all those people and Cactus Jack and everybody, you know, everybody that came through. Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, you know, like the people that came through, Scott Hall. You know.
Yeah, he came in there right at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, you know, it was a substantial company. And I think that GCW is trying to take that energy and turn it into something, because that energy isn't there anymore. And they have a good mix of wrestling and death matches and hardcore. And yeah, I mean, it feels like, I'm 33 years old, and I feel like I'm watching ECW in 1999 again.
No, I have to agree. I mean, I was discussing this the other day that with GCW, it feels like with all those people that tried those reboots, GCW, I mean, I'm not going to say that that's what they set out to do, was to reboot ECW, but they are as close to what the original product was that anybody has done.
Easily. For sure.
All right. Last part of the speed round here. AEW.
Monumental.
I have to agree. I mean, when people talked about, the ratings between, WWE and AEW, the way I always like to put it was when WWE, they come to town, you look at the crowds on their shows and you're like, I can probably get a better view at home watching it on TV, which would bump up their ratings. But then you see a show from AEW and you see the fun that those crowds are having. And you watch and you're like, I want to be there. So then that would explain maybe the little bit of being behind on the ratings aspect because people see the AEW is coming to town. They're like, I want to be there because it just looks like so much fun.
Every single time that AEW goes to a town that they've never been to, they sell out.
That is true.
And also, they run Chicago a lot, and they sell out every single time.
That they do.
It doesn't matter where they are. It doesn't matter if it's the United Center or the Lollapalooza Park or, anything else like the Horizon Event Center. It doesn't matter if it's there. It doesn't matter if it's just, it doesn't matter where they are. They sell out.
Mm-hmm.
So they got something.
And,
mm-hmm. And it's somewhere for people to go that can have space because they have a lot going for them. What people need to understand is that Tony Khan just bought Ring of Honor. There's a lot of going there. So there's a lot of influx of talent. There's a lot of influx of people here in the Midwest. But what people need to understand and Mo, you know this, is that Larz Metzger is here. Larz Metzger is a force to be reckoned with.
mm-hmm.
Larz Metzger doesn't lose. So I just challenge anyone to step into the ring with me. Because I promise you, I'm so defeated that I will make things.
All right. So we've talked a lot about some of your upcoming shows. I want to give you, to end the show, a chance to plug, where people can find you, social media, all that stuff.
So I have a Facebook page at Larz Metzger. I also have Twitter, and that is at Larz Metzger IA. And I will be getting an Instagram soon because Mo, it's one of those things where I like to stay hidden a little bit. And the reason I like to stay hidden a little bit is so that really know what I'm up to. And I don't really think that people understand what I've been through. So find me. And I want you to find me.
All right. Well, that's about all I have for tonight. Want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. Want to, when you talk to your manager again, want to thank him for taking the time out to join in with us for a little bit. And I look forward to seeing how this upcoming matches you have go, because I know you're going to bring that intensity as you always do.
You know more than anyone that Larz Metzger is a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you want to step up, better get ready to step down.
All right.